Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As promised, we are going to share our first impressions on the Carnival Venezia. So one of the very first things that we noticed is that the outside looks different. As many of you probably already know, this ship was not originally built as a Carnival ship. This was a Costa ship. So you'll notice the very first thing on the outside is the very top. You're going to see a big C with the yellow and the blue. That is Acosta's signal up there. And so it's not the traditional Carnival that you see up there with the little red and blue wings. As we were driving up to it, our taxi driver, there was a actual Costa ship in the Smeralda was also in port. And so our driver said, well, which of those two ships is it? We were like, we're not really sure because they both say Costa. We were trying to figure out, well, which one is those? Once we got a little bit closer, then we could read we could see, you know, the colors on the ship, because they did change the colors, the paint scheme on the outside of the Venezia, so you can see a little bit different on the outside as you approach them, and you can see them a little bit better. So he did drop us off at the correct ship, and we got off and just noticed that they kept some of the outside looking the same from when it was the Costa Venezia, and they basically just converted it and added Carnival instead of Costa. And then once you walk in, it's gorgeous. If you've ever been to Las Vegas, the Venetian is actually my favorite of the Vegas hotels, because I love Italy, so I really like the theme of this. But that's kind of the feel that you get when you walk in, that big atrium, the Piazza San Marco, and you've got the sky is painted up above, and it's just a beautiful, very Italian feel when you first walk onto the ship. And everything that you see, they have a ton of beautiful Italian touches that they've put in the rooms, from touches like the mirrors and the paintings on the wall, and even the linens and the bedding and things like that that they've done. And like I said, all around the ship you are going to see those Italian touches, including the dining rooms. One of them is the Grand Canal dining room, and it has a gondola with a fake little kind of canal that the gondola is sitting on right in the middle of the restaurant, and it looks just like you're walking around in Venice. And it has the little bridge inside there with the gondola right underneath it, and it is just gorgeous. There's so many things they've added. They've changed some of the restaurants as well. If you haven't seen that video yet, go check that out, because we've got restaurant review as well of all the new restaurants, and they've done some fusion with Italian and whatever the original restaurant was. So go check that one out. I'm not going to spoil that and share it with you here, but those are some of the first impressions that I'm seeing. I'm going to toss it over to Rob, and he's going to share some with you too.
Day 2, and we are on a sea day today, traveling from Barcelona to Malaga, Spain. So I wanted to test out the internet for you and see how fast it is. So far it has been really, really fast. You've been wondering why we've been able to upload so many YouTube videos. It's just the fastest internet we've ever had. So I'm going to do a little speed test for you and show you what it's like while we're at sea. You can see it's like over 70, 80, even up to, it's been up to 90 per second. Yeah, it's over 90 now. So that is really fast for download speeds, especially at sea. You don't even get that kind of speed on land. And then upload speed, this is what we're using to upload our videos. That is really fast too, faster than most hotels in the US. So I don't know how they're getting speeds that quickly while we're at sea, but we are loving it. So if you work online or have to do anything online on a cruise, we've been on a lot of cruises this year, and this internet is noticeably faster than anything we've ever been on. We do have the premium package, and maybe that's part of it, but it was only $1.70 per day more for premium, so that is definitely a worthwhile upgrade. If you're going to get the internet, just get the premium and I think it's going to be totally worth it for you.
So I mentioned a little bit about this earlier, but one thing that I do like is initially, although this was only day 2, is that I do really enjoy the food. That Italian twist and fusion on it has been really refreshing. It's not it's like Rob mentioned earlier, it's our 8th cruise this year, but not our first Carnival one. And we've been on many different brands, and we have always really enjoyed the food on Carnival. So we were already talking about before we got on this ship, we were talking about, oh, I'm going to go to Shaq's Big Chicken and, Guy's Pig and Anchor, but those are not on this ship. As I mentioned earlier, they do have some different options. Now, they are a fusion with those restaurants with these new ones, but I have really enjoyed the changes that they've made with the food. So I wasn't disappointed that I didn't get what I was thinking I was going to get when I got onto the ship. So that is definitely something to kind of keep in mind, and just know that when you get on, it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to with other Carnival ships.
As good as the internet is on this ship, first impressions of the TV entertainment type things on the ship is probably just as bad. So this is an LG TV. There's a couple problems with it. First of all, it is so close to the wall and it does not pull out that you can't possibly hook anything up. Well, you can if you have really small hands. You could probably fit an HDMI back there. But you don't need to anyway, because the button here that you can usually use to switch the inputs does not work, and the input button on the remote also does not work. So even if you hook something up, you can't switch to it. So yeah, you're stuck with not being able to use any of your items that you might have brought with you. And on top of that, the channels are just pretty bad. There's very few channels. I think there's about 8 to 10 channels. There is one sports channel. It is Sky Sports, and so they basically just show soccer and cricket on there, which is not what we would choose to watch, but that's okay, because the good thing is the internet is so fast you can just stream whatever you want. So I don't think we're going to have this on very much. Now, there is a possibility, because we are in Europe right now, that's why the channels are like that. When we cross the Atlantic, sometimes on a transatlantic, they will switch to American channels, and then you'll be getting ESPN and such. So we will check that out in about a week, see if that does indeed switch, and if it does, we'll put that in the review video. But for now, first impressions of the TV, not great, but I do think the internet is so good that it totally makes up for this.
Okay, so aside from the food, there are also lots of great bars. There are so many places to gather and kind of just sit and relax and listen to live music, from out in the atrium to just different areas around the ship. There are tons of places to hang out and just grab a drink and meet people. And speaking of drinks, another thing is that they do have some new special drinks that you will only find on the Carnival Venezia. So make sure you keep an eye out for those and ask about those, because they only have, I think, 2 or 3 of them. If I remember correctly, I did get one and it was quite tasty. The Italian flag one. It was really good. So keep an eye out for those, and hit up the bars all around the ship. You can get all different types of drinks, not just alcoholic beverages. There are also some specialty beverages as well that are non-alcoholic, as well as your sodas. And you can get coffee drinks at several of the bars as well around the ship.
One of my first impressions coming on this ship was just the very nice vibe and feel that the ship had. Sometimes you'll be on a ship and it just doesn't seem fun, and that's kind of hard to quantify, but this ship really does seem fun. We've been on 8 cruises so far this year, and this is the one I think that has given us the most fun feeling. So that's a great thing. It really does feel like you're at a resort and not on a cruise ship, so we love that. It's just been kind of a refreshing, uplifting cruise. So if you're doing this for a vacation or kind of a family getaway, I think this is going to be a really good one for you. One thing that was a first impression that was kind of on the downside, though, was the pool spaces are quite small. So if you are coming on here and you're used to huge pools on cruise ships, I think that's going to need to be tempered a little bit. There are some pools, there are some hot tubs, but the overall total pool space, the square footage of the pools, is quite a bit smaller than some of the other ships. So that's just something that's going to be different to get used to. But there are a lot of other places. There's tons of mini golf, ropes courses, bocce ball, you know, foosball tables, big board games, stuff like that that you can do. So tons of spaces to have fun in. Not a lot of pool space, but just overall a great feel to the ship. Another thing we've really appreciated as we've gotten on this ship, and it's only been 2 days so far, but they've already had 3 different comedians. And that is wonderful because there's a lot of variety in the shows. We can already kind of look ahead and see there's tons of shows. The entertainment is going to be really good on this ship. We've been on ships where you'll have the same comedian the whole week, and that just gets kind of old and boring and acts like they didn't put a lot of thought or effort into it. This ship is very different. There's tons of entertainment and tons of places to get it. They've got movies. They've been showing 2 to 3 different really good movies in the Seaside Theater every day, so lots to do. Entertainment has been really good so far.
All right, guys, so those are our first impressions of the Carnival Venezia. When we finish the cruise, we will also do a full review of everything and break it down for you like we normally do, the things we loved and hated, and tips and all those types of things. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so that you get those, and that way you can take notes if you've already planned a cruise on the Carnival Venezia. You'll be ready when you get on the ship, and if you're thinking about it, this will either help you choose to go on it or not to, but probably you will want to go on it because we've loved it so far. Only been 2 days, and so like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have questions or things you want us to mention in our reviews at the end, make sure you mention those down in the comments. We will see you soon.